In a quiet, secluded pond nestled deep in the forest, there lived a small frog named Fergus. Unlike the other frogs who were content with their simple lives, Fergus had big dreams. While his friends spent their days basking in the sun, he gazed out beyond the pond, imagining adventures in distant lands. "Why stay here?" he thought. "The world beyond must be so much more." The other frogs laughed at him. "You're just a frog," they'd say. "Why leave the pond? Everything you need is here." But Fergus didn't listen. He practiced jumping higher, leaping longer, and planning his escape. One day, after a fierce storm, the river feeding into the pond swelled dangerously. The water was rushing faster than ever, but to Fergus it was a sign the river could carry him far beyond the pond to places unknown. Ignoring the warnings of the older frogs, he leapt into the river. At first, the current was thrilling. The wind howled in his face and the water rushed beneath him, carrying him swiftly downstream. He imagined himself crossing forests, jumping over mountains. This was the adventure he had always dreamed of. But soon, the river became violent. The water tossed Fergus back and forth, knocking him against rocks hidden beneath the surface. He gasped for breath, struggling to stay afloat as the current dragged him faster and faster. Every time he tried to leap to safety, he was pulled further into the river's grip. Doubt began to creep into his mind. "I should have listened," he thought. "I'm just a frog. What did I expect?" Just when he thought he couldn't fight the current anymore, he saw something ahead, an old, fallen log, half submerged in the river. It seemed sturdy, unmoving. He swam toward it, his body exhausted, but determination fueling him. Finally, with one last burst of strength, he reached the log and clung to it. For a few moments, the storm continued to rage, but the log held steady. Fergus rested, gathering his strength. The water calmed, and he realized something. The river hadn't defeated him. It had tested him, yes, but he had survived because of his determination, not because the journey was easy. Eventually, the river slowed, and Fergus saw the shore ahead. There, beside a tranquil lake, an old turtle was resting. The turtle watched him, nodding as Fergus made his way to shore. "You've made it through the river, young frog," the turtle said. "Most would have turned back." Fergus puffed out his chest. "I couldn't turn back. I wanted to see the world. I knew it was dangerous, but I had to try." The turtle smiled slowly. "It's the journey, not the destination, that teaches us what we're capable of. And you, little frog, have learned something very important today." Fergus nodded, realizing that the storm, the river, and even the doubt he had faced were all part of the adventure. He had grown stronger, braver, and wiser through each challenge. And so Fergus's journey didn't end at that lake. He traveled further, overcoming obstacles and exploring new places. He never forgot the lesson the river taught him, that true strength comes not from avoiding challenges, but from facing them head-on, no matter how difficult they seem. The other frogs in the pond never understood why Fergus had left, but they couldn't deny the spark of adventure that now lived within them too. They had all heard the stories of the determined frog who dared to leap into the unknown, and it left them wondering what was out there waiting to be discovered.